used to go to this car event. It is called Extreme Autofest. And back pre-COVID times, it was a very big event that they had on a regular basis. And right here you could tell that there's a line waiting to go in. And on this parking lot is really big. It's right on the Anaheim Stadium. You could see it when you take the 57 freeway, which I take on a daily basis. You can see that big A sign. And you can tell that that's the stadium. But anyhow, they have it on the parking lot where they usually have a lot of the events. And so on this particular one, it's pretty big because they combine different types of shows here. It's not just import cars. They have lowriders, they have other old school cars, trucks, bikes, and so on, and so they just drifting. So they try to combine everything and make this really big sort of car slash truck enthusiast event, and it's pretty cool. It used to be big pre-COVID times, but now I'm not so sure. I guess you guys could check it out, see if they have new events out there. As you walk, again, another interesting thing about this event was there's a lot of lowriders. You don't really see these types of props like when you go to like import events where we all just hang out together. We see the same kind of cars, but when you go to these types of events where you see lowriders, then you just see a different type of craftsmanship. Like, look at this truck right here. It's so clean. You can eat off it. Engine bay is so clean. Wheels, the paint job. I mean, the quality of everything that they do is really on a high level. And it's not cheap to do this type of work. And we actually should have a lot more of this type of quality on import cars, but sometimes, with import cars, everybody tries to cut corners, and so try to save money, so the quality is not quite up there. But when you look at these lowriders, like these classic cars, and you can just kind of see and appreciate the type of work they do, the paint job, which is so clean, the wheels, the motor, and all the things that they've done to it. It may not be necessarily like my style or import style, but I can really appreciate the type of work that they put into it, which is really a lot of it's pretty flawless when you look up close. So it's just a good way to appreciate a different type of sort of genre in terms of car culture. Whether it's lowrider or anything else, it's cool. So a lot of variety in terms of cars. They had this yellow car also with suicide doors on it. So I mean, it's not necessarily that I look at, am I gonna put these modifications to my car, but it's more like the modifications that they have done. I'm looking at the quality of work, the level of quality that they put into doing that work when installing those doors, painting the car, how clean it is, and everything else in terms of the execution. And so, yeah, a whole lot of things to look at in this event. I thought this truck was really interesting. 4x, there's a lot of work and craftsmanship put into this truck, not just the paint, the graphics, but if you look up close, that's why he has the mirrors underneath, so you can look underneath the chassis. And then of course a lot of the etching, the lettering, and all that, just all the details on this truck is pretty, I thought pretty good. It was just a big open space where you can see a lot of things, and now we start to look at like the import cars, and of course girls posing in front of the car, just add some flavor to it. And the photographers, they all like to take photos of the girls. So here we have like bugs, which I thought was interesting because I don't really see that on just regular import shows as well. Then you switch on to the import cars. Okay, so here we start seeing like the Nissans, the Mazdas, the Acuras, and stuff like that. And then we get into a different crowd now, which is the crowd, of course, that I'm used to because I normally go to the import car events, whether they're shows or meets or those type of things. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with this scene right here. But I thought this was unique with the NSX and the sort of gold wheels. It has a different look to it, different feel to it. And then of course everyone, gathering, coming together and just checking out the scene as it were back when, pre-COVID, when we didn't have to worry about wearing masks and stuff like that. So it's a big event, and this stage area is still open at night. Then there's more people that congregate around here, but in the daytime it's pretty empty. I think they're waiting for nighttime when they start having some other events. Oh, here, bump into some friends. That's what happens, when you go to these events. You're always gonna bump into someone It's just a matter of time. And then when you have car, especially in the import scene, you go to these events, you start seeing the same faces, or you bump into people and that's just how it is. A lot of just car shenanigans in between. Then here is another cool area where they have the drifting, and you get to check out the different types of cars that they have for drifting. This is the drifting area, and I get to check out some of the different types of vehicles performing the drift.
Will Crocker's in the house. What up, Will? Most famous Athena McGann. Big Fish in the house. Doing that Big Fish style. Out here at Extreme Autofest. Mac Mike, Steve, BM, chilling with the Big Fish out here in Anaheim. Checking out the drift, y'all. Check this out.
again, the AE86 doing the drift. That was good viewing, watching the drift. It's cool. And then there's more cars to look at as you walk. Another thing about this event is actually, of course, there's a lot of import models that spice up the event because, right, cars and girls, right? And if anything, they promote themselves, and at the same time, the photographers get to take photos and add content, whether it's just the models or posing with the models, or even just saying hello, which is cool, you know. Again, it just adds flavor. I think it's probably something that goes together, right? Cars and girls. So with the Extreme Autofest, it's a really big event, so there's a lot of import models that show up, but they have other models too, like the ones that are more for the lowrider side. So they have different types of girls depending on what your tastes may be, which is cool. More diversity is always good. So that's a big booth. The model booth is huge. It's like in the middle of the parking lot. Then you can start checking out the cars again. Just walk around. Obviously, whether you want to stay on the low rider side or go to the import cars, it's all up to you. You know, you decide which cars do you want to check out and which events you want to spend time doing, like whether it's the drifting. And keep in mind that this is still in the daytime, so I didn't stay till night, and at night they had other events as well, like contests and stuff like that. That's why they had the big stage area, which is pretty open. But you know, for me, it was just a daytime event. I just wanted to check out the cars and everything else in between. But there you have it. That's how it was going to the Extreme Autofest in Anaheim, and hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time, and signing off. See you then.